Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Cammie.
I'm so excited. And hello, everyone who is watching or listening to Cut the Clutter. Thank you so much for joining us. Today I have a very special guest. I'm so excited for this interview. I wish there was another word. I keep watching videos. They're like, I'm so excited, but I really am. This is so fun. Jennifer McLaughlin is the owner of Zelda Zonk Consignment, and I stumbled upon this beautiful little boutique just walking down the street in West Seattle, and there's not very many consignment boutiques in the Seattle area that I know of. I remember one in the Kirkland area, which is still there and I love. I forget the name of it. But there was nothing in my mind that stood out, and as soon as I walked into Zelda Zonk, I lit up. I'm like, this is the cutest boutique ever, and it's all secondhand. I'm so excited. So welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us this morning, and please tell us a little bit about who you are and what Zelda Zonk Consignment means, because that's such a cool name.
Well, thanks for having me, Cammie. I appreciate being here with you today and letting people know about my story. Zelda Zonk is, like you said, a consignment shop on California Avenue in West Seattle. And the name actually comes from, and I have people come in the door almost daily saying, "Are you Zelda?" The name actually comes from Marilyn Monroe. It was her name that she used to check into hotels and whatnot. It was her alias name, which is kind of funny because it's a pretty memorable name when you think about it. It's not inconspicuous, but it was the name that she used for that, and so I was inspired by that. There is a little bit of Marilyn around the shop, and as I'm looking around, I see it's very minimal, but I love it when people ask me.
It's very she. I love it in there. The decor is just very, I'm like, oh, I love it.
It's a huge walk-in closet with a little bit of shishi and class.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I love that. So tell me, what were you doing before this, and how did this come about?
Well, it's interesting because I was not the one who originally opened the shop, but I did help open the shop. I had a consignment shop for 2 years prior to this. And then was working for an outdoor magazine. I was in the outdoor world. And I had just closed my consignment shop and was out in the field working. And I met Carrie, who was the one who originally opened the shop. And we started talking. And she had said that she had just quit her corporate job and her dream was to open a consignment store. And I couldn't help but open my mouth and say, hey, I just did this. And if there's anything that I can do to help you, any advice I can give, anything that I can help for you to get your shop up and going, I would love to help you with that. And so she took me up on that. And so Zelda Zonk then started from there. She later on decided to go back to corporate land, and I decided I wanted the shop, and so here I am.
How fun! And you know what I love so much too is when I come in the atmosphere, like the jingle from the doorbell, walking in and everything. Like, what I love so much about businesses, when I walk in, whether it's a restaurant or a store, I'm always looking for an experience. And Nordstrom's famous for this, but I was just listening to a podcast yesterday on Tony Robbins. It wasn't Tony Robbins, but somebody he had on his podcast talking about creating an experience. And that's something that your shop did so eloquently, because I walk in and I feel like I'm in my hometown little shop. Like, I get welcomed. It's an experience. The sound, the decor, just felt like home, and it felt like a large walk-in closet where I just could have so much fun. So you've done a beautiful job at creating an experience. And we were just talking a little bit during our test run about, clutter and consignment and how that goes together. And one thing that you brought up I thought was so beautiful. You said, well, if clutter didn't exist, I wouldn't exist.
Right.
So tell us how helping each other, how clutter and consignment go together.
Well, I know this from personal experience of I did a lot of retail therapy in my past, and that tends to get a lot of clutter. I'm a firm believer in only bringing things into your home that you really love, and I think that society has put some sort of an idea in our minds that the more we have, the better we should feel, that if we have things around us, that is a comfort thing. And what I've learned is that, and I get this daily when people come in with their clutter, with what they've gone through their closets, and they feel so overwhelmingly free and good about what they just did. And for me to have a part of that and be able to relieve people of any sort of pressure or anything that they're feeling because they have all this stuff around them, that for me really means a lot. I feel like I am a place where people can come and bring their things that have been holding them back, and bring it here so we can give it to someone who needs it, who appreciates it, who loves it, because that's really what my store is all about, is creating that fun environment where people have brought clutter. My store is literally a store of other people's clutter.
Well, you're giving it a second life. And what
Exactly.
I always love to share with people is when they're feeling suffocated, it's usually because they don't know the resources that are available. And something beautifully that the process I've known is I come to you and I say, I just went through my closet and here's a bucket of clothes, and please take anything that you can consign. People come into your store and they're feeling elated because they're shopping these wonderful second slightly used pieces that are still lovely. And anything that you decide not to take in, you donate. So the process keeps going on. So I think that pressure of letting go, you make that such an effortless process with your shop.
Well, thanks, Cami. And I really try and do that. I try to make it as easy as possible for people, because if you make it easy for them, they're more likely to do it. So if they're able to just come in and drop their things off, of course, I would prefer appointments if at all possible, but I also try to take people's things in and just let them know that, okay, I've got appointments ahead of you, but I will put them in the back, and when I get to them, I will. And then, of course, I will contact you and let you know this is what I took in. But you're absolutely right about the donation process as well. When I let people know, that I work with Children's Hospital, I work with the Assistance League of Seattle, so that these things, if I can't take them in here, they're still going to a really good place.
Absolutely. And so one thing that I want to touch on is for, people to get in this mindset of giving your items a second home. You've loved on them. Now they're not bringing you any sort of love. They're bringing you more trauma or guilt, these kind of negative feelings. You can pass those items on and turn it into something beautiful with your consignment shop specifically. And you are a small, adorable boutique, and the reason why you take appointments is because you genuinely give that person time and attention to go through the items. I've been in Buffalo Exchange, which I do like if I'm in a quick fix, but it's a very different process, and it's not as personal. It's kind of like shoved around. It's like younger group. With your consignment shop, you take an appointment. You really are with that person interacting. You lay out the whole process. It's just a very white glove experience. And so for somebody that may be thinking about consignment and getting a little bit extra cash for their clothes, when is a good time for them to go through their closet?
I have found springtime is a great time. I mean, we all know that old saying, we're doing the spring cleaning. Springtime is a great time to go through things. Also fall. Fall is those are the two busiest times for me. And I think because those are times where people have gotten to a point, okay, I wore this all summer, I'm done with it, or whatever it might be. But I think those are really great breaking times. And those are actually the busiest times for me. So the sooner people can get an appointment going, you just give me a call. I'm happy to do that. But it does get really busy. I think, but anytime you're feeling it, though, do it. If you're feeling that you need to get rid of things that are suffocating you, that are pulling you down, just go do it and make the appointment. And if I can get you in as soon as I can, and I get cancellations too, so I have a cancellation list. But I think anytime you're feeling it, just do it.
Absolutely. And so for somebody who's thinking like, okay, well, maybe I should do a closet purge. But what about like accessories like shoes and handbags? Is that something that you take as well at your shop?
Absolutely. In fact, handbags are one of my mainstays. I get a lot of absolutely gorgeous handbags in here, and then I can sell them at a fraction of the original price. So it's a win-win situation all the way around. Handbags, in fact, I had a gal come in just yesterday with a few really nice designer handbags that she said that a friend of hers said, go to Zelda Zonk with those. They're known for having great handbags. And that was fantastic for me to hear.
Yeah, that's a nice little reminder for people, is that the pieces that you do carry in your shop are really wonderful. And for people that, they have those high-end, they have expensive tastes, or maybe their husbands or partner is giving them these gifts that may just not bring them the joy that they once had, and they carry this guilt, right? Did you lose some audio there? We'll see if I can catch you right back. I'm going to try to minimize this here. Can you hear me now?